There's 976 champions in Raid Shadow Legends, guys. 976. We're closing into 1,000 champions. So coming into 2026, which champions are basically gone, not used anymore at all? Well, it's gonna be the uncommon champions. It's a thing, guys. It's a thing. Uncommon champions have lost their value. Same thing with common champions. Basically, almost none of them have any use whatsoever, only for very niche specific occasions. And I'm very saddened to say this because you guys been following me for some time now. You know that I love making content on these champions because obviously I wouldn't have this vault of champions. All right, look at all these 6 stars that I have here of uncommons and commons, because I love to do showcases of those champions over the years. You guys know it. The intro for my channel is Armiger. It is the thing. These champions have really fallen off, and unfortunately, but fortunately, only a few really have any value whatsoever going into 2026. That's gonna be today's video, and with the help of today's sponsor, we're actually gonna bring one of my favorites to life. So yeah, let's do this. So imagining summoning 4 uncommons and then your favorite uncommon pops up, the one and only Armiger. There we go. Let's have a talk with him. Who dares summon me? If I'm here, something big is about to lose its turn, and if you brought me to the arena again, then we need to talk. Damn, this guy is funny. I knew it. So when are we fighting the Spider Queen? Soon enough, the Queen Webs awaits us. All right. Okay, he's ready. He's ready for this. But does he have what it takes? Let's see. He's got everything he needs. Turn meter control. Enough damage to make her regret ever spinning those threads. Yeah, but what do you think of Meek? Coldbrew, he nods approvingly, understands the art of war. He knows how to craft a champion for victory. Yes! I knew that he loves me. Alright, so how do we gear you up? Critical rate gear, speed, accuracy, and never ever anything less than 100% crit. That's the foundation. Man, I mean, this guy is spot on. Guys, if you ever want to talk to Armiger or any other fictional heroes, characters from movies, animes, you name it, this app has it. Polybuzz AI has it. You can talk even to Armiger, the one I've just created, and many, many more. Make sure you use my promo code as well. The link will be in the description and comments of today's video. Thank you, Polybuzz AI, for sponsoring today's video. Of course, you guys know it. I do love Armiger. I have 4 of them at level 60. It's not that the other champions have no use. I just wouldn't take them to 6 star if I had a choice, right? There is only use if there's something very, very specific. There's only use for these uncommons if you don't have literally anything else. But for the most part, going into 2026, 2025, even from 2024, we had so many good champions available to us from just making an account, a brand new account, that the uncommons really lose their appeal to get them to 6 star. And there hasn't been a good uncommon for quite a while now. And justifiably so, because of empowerment, because of blessings, which uncommons cannot get. They really drop in power. But it's just the one champion that really is steady going into 2026 that really keeps his value. And that's why they even did the April Fool's tournament where you had to use Armiger to beat the Spider. Okay. And honestly, guys, like I did my first ever video, I think with an uncommon was Saurus. I made many videos with Saurus since then. You don't need to use Saurus anymore to have a fast farmer. You can still do that, though. If you really want to have like a really fast farmer for campaign, you can do that. But the same thing works with Fellhound. And honestly, to get a champion to 6 star, it's a lot of investment. So unless you're really, really wanting to have like a really fast champion for farming, Saurus is not going to be it. Elf Guard, I only took her because it was something very specific for a video I was making. Shield Guard, if built correctly, can actually do some really solid work in Nightmare Campaign, but he needs a lot of gear, which you can use that gear. You can use another champion to basically farm Nightmare Campaign, and it's still not worth farming Nightmare Campaign. So why would you even do that? Just farm Brutal, as we've been doing since forever with Raid, okay? Outlander is okay because he does have a chance to decrease turn meter on enemies as an AoE, so it is pretty useful if you want to be controlling enemies. That's basically it. Outside of things where you can take them to level 40 and 50 when you're playing an account for the first maybe week, like Outlaw Monk, there's nothing else compared to Armiger. And this is where we're coming in for today's video, guys. I just want to show you the build for Armiger going into 2026, where you are most likely gonna be using Armiger if you're still having any issues with any sort of content that requires turn meter control. Okay, for the spider, I mean, having good amount of speed is crucial, but also having enough accuracy and critical rate is key for just building Armiger. All right, you need to get him to 100% crit, you need the accuracy, you need the crit rate, and I would say you need the destroy set. The destroy set plays a huge role in basically controlling the boss and also reducing his health. And that is where Armiger is going to be used mostly in 2026, is going to be this boss right here for the Doom Tower, the Scarab King Borgoth. Okay, you will be sending in your Armiger. Okay, let me show you guys on how this is gonna look like. You're gonna send him in with your team, and his only role will be as a control champion, but also a champion that will basically, look at that, he's actually faster than my damage dealer. That's funny. He's actually going to be there used for basically controlling turn meter and then destroying max health. So you'll see what we'll be doing here. Whenever we're not controlling turn meter, we'll be doing the A2 and just destroying max health, destroying this big shield from Borgoth. Same thing goes with my damage dealer here, Ethos. All right, you see the turn meter that we reduce, we also take down the boss's shield, and that's basically it. That's how you're going to be using your Armiger. I'm showcasing in normal because it's much quicker to actually decrease the max health, and I don't need to take a full team just to show you the effectiveness of this. But that's it, guys. That's the role of Armiger going into 2026. Unfortunately, I don't see another place where you can use him. You can use him maybe in very niche situations. There's teams that had him showcased before. I did make videos in the past where I showcased Armiger beating Dragon on hard mode because of Armiger's very strong A2. But that's basically it, guys. And unfortunately, there's only use cases for Armigers nowadays, right? I've showcased Sand Devil teams with him that are very specific in terms of tuning them right. I've showcased teams for Spider, but with all of these different champions coming into play nowadays, it's basically Borgoth. It's basically that's the only place where you'll see Armiger used at any point. Okay, and the reason for that is actually Armiger, I would even give him maybe, like, outside of all of these stats that I've given him right now, so like a destroy set, crit damage, crit rate, speed, accuracy, I would probably also give him, if you have Blood Shield accessory for Borgoth, I think that would be the best if you do have it, but Blood Shield is not that easily available. Let's see, do I even have, could drop my accuracy a little bit, but let's just give him one right here. I dropped my accuracy a little bit, but for Doom Tower, I don't even have it boosted. For Doom Tower, you need about 330 or so to be decreasing the turn meter, and that's basically it. That's gonna be your build. Some of the key things to consider with Armiger, guys, is also, if you got the relic Malefic Talon, you can throw in there a triangle gemstone that can destroy additional max health. This is very strong, very strong for Borgoth. It definitely works. In terms of masteries, I'm using Hell Smasher, but honestly, you'll eventually cap out in terms of damage. And if you want more consistency in damage, you go with War Master, and you don't actually even need masteries, I would say, for Armiger with how it is in 2026. Unfortunately, that's the way it goes, and it's true, but in terms of resources and managing resources, you don't need to get Armiger's masteries maxed out. There's no real reason anymore, since the spider is basically the hard mode spider is more important, and that is way easier to beat with the current setups that we have available and the champions that most players have available as they just play through. So leveling up uncommons has become a thing of the past, I would say, unfortunately, which I would love to do so. To show differently, right? So going into Borgoth, guys, the only thing that you'll need is basically shields and maybe some ally attacks and the gear that I've shown you on Armiger, right? I'm just making this run go way faster because I don't want to show like a 15-minute run with just slow taking out the boss. What I wanted to just show here is the power of Armiger on his own for enemy max health reduction, just because of the gear that he has, the fact that he does enemy max health, he has decreased turn meter on his A1, and the fact that with also the relic that I've shown, he does really good work for Borgoth. He can make your runs go way faster. So we'll do this ally attack here just to add on to the fact here is the shields protect us from the boss. And immediately just with the A1, you saw, guys, how low we dropped the shield for Borgoth. That allows us to basically do a lot more damage. Okay, so I'm not going to do the A2 yet with my boy Marius. All right, let's do an ally attack here with Marius. Let's extend our shields that we had from before. Here I can do A1. I'll probably do A2 here. And look at that. Basically reduce the shield to almost 60%. Is that 60%? And just because of that, we are doing way more damage to the boss, right? And now with decreased defense, actually that would have been way better. Let's see if we can do that. We're increasing the duration of our shields coming in from Krisk, by the way. Is he gonna attack me? Yeah, because I had no shield there. Look at that. Look at the A1 doing work. Let's hit the boss a little bit. Hit the boss a little bit more. And that's it. Anytime Armiger is getting a turn, he's going in there with the A1, destroying max health. If he doesn't do the A1, he's going to go in there with the A2 and just take out the remaining shield from the boss and make this run go way faster. So here, I'm going to do A1. That's going to decrease turn meter. Look at how beautiful that is. How beautiful that works with Armiger. All right, let's do the A2 now. Look at that, and that's basically it. And in a different champions, this fight would go a little bit longer, but I just wanted to show you the real effect of Armiger going into 2026. Obviously you wouldn't use Marius, obviously you wouldn't use Patrick or Hunter, just showing for the effect that he has because of that A1. You just need a shield and basically another damage dealer. Armiger can be your damage dealer, but you need a shield or a blood shield accessory and then additional supports that will stay protected with shields throughout the fight. And that's it. That is basically the only use of an uncommon going into 2026. Sad, but it's true. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully we'll get some maybe changes to uncommons going into 2026, but I highly doubt it. I don't think it's something that Raid developers focus at all. That's it, guys. Thank you all. I'll see you in the next one. See ya.